Hello, everyone, and welcome back to this episode of Just Another Year Chicago. My name is Nick Rohde. I am joined alongside baseball analyst and my co-host, Tony Cepeda. Happy Friday, and it is a very happy Friday for Cubs and White Sox fans, considering they're two of the hottest teams in baseball as of right now. We weren't saying about the Cubs for a long time, but the Cubs have come out of nowhere, taking 3 or 4 from the Nationals this past week so far, and are heading into St. Louis to take on the very big rival Cardinals, along with Tony's White Sox taking on the New York Yankees, really proving the fact that the Sox are on the map and they can take down guys like Aaron Judge. So with that, we're going to go right into the Cubs to start off. As you can tell, the Cubs took 3 out of the 4 out of the Nationals. I was unfortunately at the game where they lost to the Nationals, but it was incredible. It was, Schwarber was in the outfield. He was throwing, I'm sitting in the 303 section on the third baseline. He's throwing, practice balls up to us. I didn't get one, but the kids around. Overall, just a really good time. Lester obviously had his reunion that was spoiled a couple days ago, but they gave him a really nice montage, which was nice to see. And then you can't hate when the opposing team manager, who used to be one of your coaches, is taking first base and slamming it against the ground and physically being there to enjoy it. So Tony and I were going back and forth. I was eating a bowl of nachos with a beer when that all happened, and I couldn't believe how well it was going. But Tony was actually watching this and was excited for me coming from a Sox fan. So Tony, a little bit of your takeaways about how hot the Cubs are right now.
Yeah, it's kind of wild because who would have thought 4 weeks ago when they're losing 2 out of 3 to the Pirates, and it's kind of just the bats where they're batting like 110 as a team. Who would have thought they'd be over 500 at this point? And I'm sure we'll bring it up in a second here, but they're 3 games out of the Cardinals right now from first, and lucky for them, they got a 3-game series against the Cardinals coming up here. So I think it's cool, even though I'm a Sox fan. I think it's cool that, Chicago baseball is really on the map right now. Like you said, people are excited. The city's excited. We'll get to it a little later, but, going to be more people at the games. And I think overall, it's just good for the city that the Cubs are good right now. Because obviously the Sox already are. So that's where I stand on that.
Yeah, but I mean, little red line World Series action, kind of what we were hitting on. We've said it a couple times. We dropped it in a few different posts, but definitely, this is what the city needed, especially after a year of COVID, major market like Chicago. People are just running to the ballparks right now. And I'm saying that about guaranteed rate. People are going to Tony's G spot, as long as that sounds, he's feeling himself, he feels right at home. And it feels like, as sad as it sounds, like the most packed Sox game it's been in a long time, but it's at max capacity. So when the city opens it up May 24th to 60%, we're going to get to that in a little bit. It's definitely going to be more exciting. But from an experience from Wrigley, it feels way more than 60%. I mean, Wrigley is just bumping every single time. I mean, I took the red line I took the Skokie Swift to Howard, and then I took the red line up. And man, I mean, people are outside throwing around baseballs, in the park. You're walking through the streets. People are just wearing Cubs jerseys, and they're not even going to the game. This is something that the city just needed. I love seeing people drunk at 4:00 on a Wednesday. I love seeing the bars with the garage doors open and people are sitting there, and you got, the girls who have no idea what's going on, the guys who are just trying to impress the girls by going to the game and taking Instagram with them. Overall, just this is what we all missed last year. And sure, the rooftops were open. Shout out to Wrigley View, located in left field, for giving us a shout out on our Instagram. And we will hopefully be taking a podcast there this upcoming summer. So stay tuned for that. But Wrigley's just exciting. And Tony has been to a game this year at Wrigley Field in enemy territory. But, overall, the Cubs are hot, like you said. Can't complain with that. This could go really good this weekend or really bad for the Cubs in regards to a 3-game series against the Cardinals. We could either be we could either take first or we could be 6 games out. So, kind of pick your poison. But Tony, what are you seeing from a Cubs perspective entering this Cardinals series?
Well, like we said, the bats are hot. The bats are here. They're ready to hit. The pitching's been good, and that was probably the weakest point. I think when we did our preview at the start of the year, it's kind of just okay, we know Kyle Hendricks, but who after that, and they've really done well, kind of just battling through, staying in these games, and then letting the bats kind of take over, kind of win them these games. It was kind of like who did that? I believe it was the the Nationals did that a couple of years ago when they went to the World Series. Yes, they have Max Scherzer and they had Steven Strasburg, who wasn't the same, but they're doing the same thing where it's okay, just keep us close 6-7 innings, starter, give the bullpen a little bit of a break, just hold on for dear life, we're coming. And that's really cool to see. I will say, I know, like you said, I went to a Cubs game, I went to that Mets game, set out in center field. Yeah, it's what, like 25% capacity. It might as well have been a full stadium. The place was rocking. And even I actually looked into going to a Cubs game this week because the Sox tickets are like $100 a ticket right now, which is crazy, hottest team in baseball. But they were also $100, so I didn't end up going to that. Either way, I'm excited. I'm definitely going to be switching back and forth because I think the Sox play during the day this weekend, switching back and forth between that and the Cardinals Cubs series. And just a great weekend for Chicago. 85 degrees, 90 degrees, almost beautiful sunny day. Oh, I'm so excited for this weekend.
Tony has our official beer of our podcast, a fine Pilsner of Miller Lite, sitting in my fridge. The pool is open. The flat screen's out there. We're ready to drink a lot of beer. We're ready to watch baseball and absolutely not think about another damn thing. So with that, Cubs take on Cardinals this upcoming weekend. It's going to be a good series, I think. A big pitching matchups. Hendricks will be pitching this weekend. Our rookie pitcher, I can't pronounce his name off the top of my head right now. He will be also pitching in this series. And then I believe Arrieta will get the bump, Zach Davies will get the bump on the last game. So, and Zach Davies has been pitching a lot better lately. Out of his last 4 games, he's only given up, I think, 2 runs. So he hasn't been pitching too deep in. He hasn't been getting strikeouts, but like you were kind of saying, like, hold on for dear life. Just don't give up runs. Let the defense do their thing. And you got Nico Hoyner out there, grabbing everything. My guy Nico is up on the active roster right now, and I don't think he's going anywhere. But, big series for the Cubs coming up. Looking forward to it. But on the other side of the red line, the Sox have a huge series as well against the New York Yankees. So, Tony, kind of take me into everything that's going on. What are you looking forward to, and what do you think your prediction is going to be for this weekend?
Yeah, so real quick, a little cleanup from the past week. Obviously, the Sox played the Twins. There was the whole Tony La Russa storyline. We won't get into it. You've heard it talked about enough. So I told everyone the other day going into the third game on Wednesday, just relax. It's the Twins. We're 4-1 going into this game on the series on the season, trying to make it 5-1. I'll take 2 or 3. We did. We took care of business. We're on to the next series. Is what it is. The best teams in baseball lose 70 games a year. So yeah, okay, fine. We lost 1 in May. So moving forward, on to the Yankees. This is the biggest test for the White Sox this season. I believe Abreu's going to be back. Not exactly sure about that. The lineups aren't out yet for today because the Sox play tonight. But either way, there's a lefty on the mound tonight on Friday. Whenever you're watching this, talking about Friday, the Sox are great against lefties. 23-2 since opening day of 2020. And Carlos Rodon's also on the bump. He's a legit Cy Young contender at this point. Yes, he's maybe fallen off the past couple of games, but he's still looking great. 5-1 with a 1.47 ERA, 49 strikeouts over 36 and 2/3 innings. So tonight would be a great way to start everything off. I imagine it's going to be one of the most watched games of the night because obviously the Yankees are the Yankees and everyone watches the Yankees, but also the Sox they are in the national spotlight this week from that Twin series, from like, is Tony La Russa going to be a bumbling fool again? Whatever it is. So I am really excited for that. Garrett Cole goes on Saturday. I've chalked that one up as a loss. I think they're going to win the series 2-1, take 2 or 3. I think it's going to be Friday and Sunday we win because Garrett Cole's 5-2, the 2.03 ERA, 85 strikeouts over 57 2/3 innings pitched. Pretty dang good there. But he is going against Dylan Cease, 2-0, former Cub, the 2.41 ERA, 50 Ks over 41 innings pitched. So we have, I'd argue, our best pitcher probably right now, at least our hottest pitcher going against him. So we really do have a shot. Sunday doesn't really matter as much. But Nick, I want to hear just what do you think? Do you think the Sox can take 2 or 3? Do you think Dylan Cease can compete with Garrett Cole? What are your overall takes on it?
Before we get into that, like, I feel like Tony La Russa looks like that old lady in SpongeBob who literally is like, "What are they selling?" Like he sits in the back and I literally feel like he's about to go, "What are you selling? Chocolate?" But like says
I
it like that.
completely agree.
He looks horrible. I mean, when the Sox were signing him, did they like even like FaceTime with him, or did they just get on the phone? And Tony was probably like, yeah, but he also could have been saying to his butler, yeah, bring me another scotch or something like that. I don't know. I mean, he's a great manager. He's doing great with the team. Don't get me wrong, but I'm like worried, like get that guy some skincare, a little bit of aloe. I'm afraid for him to get sunburned. Might not go in his favor very well. But man, he does not look good. And winning baseball games doesn't require looks, but come on now. David Ross is a good-looking guy. He's got a little touch of gray in there, the baldness, big arms. Like, if we did a UFC fight of Tony La Russa versus David Ross, I mean, like, it'd be like Popeye going up against a shrimp. Like, I don't know. I just had to throw that out there, Tony. I know you like the guy, but man.
I mean, you're right. Like nothing you said's wrong. He does have. I've watched all of his post game interviews. I think at this point, and it just looks like it is so hard for him to talk. And again, I know he is so much baseball in his head. He's a smart guy. Maybe it all doesn't come out the right way. Like with this week, maybe he meant it a different way. But he's also 70 something years old. Like there's no filter on there anymore. He's just saying what he says. But I completely agree with you. It is sometimes where it's just a bag of bones sitting up there, and I am a little worried. Hey, maybe it's a big game situation. He just can't react fast enough. I am a little worried. I actually legitimately agree with you on that. And David Ross is definitely a cutie pie. I can't say anything other than that. He's a good looking guy. What do you want from me?
You can't deny it. He's a good-looking bald guy. When a bald guy is good-looking, that's dangerous. That's like, I'm here to take. I go from I'll pick her up at 7 to she's calling me daddy now. You know what I'm saying? Like, sheesh. But going back to baseball, I think the Sox are going to take 2 out of the 3, kind of like what you were saying. But they have to. They have to do this in order because I'm looking at your notes, Tony, and then they have 31 games in the next 31 days. And that's a lot of baseball. Sure, I think there is, a few days off, but they do have a doubleheader or 2. But man, that's a lot of baseball. And last night playing softball for my company team, I was already gassed after the game. These guys are doing it every single day. Again, they got dad bods too. Let's not deny the fact that not every baseball player has a 6-pack like Tim Anderson. Go look at Jock Peterson, man. He's packing. That's all I got to say. He's all I got to say.
Yeah, that stat, the 31 and 31, I believe is correct. I heard Chuck Garfien say it. I know they definitely have the 26 and 27, but I think, or 26 games in 27 days, because they do have one doubleheader, 2 days off. But I believe there's another one thrown in there, and then whatever it is, it just kind of, you're right. It's so much baseball. That's a month straight of baseball every day, more or less every day. And that's where I think this is a big series where if they get just their doors blown off and they're using the bullpen, the starters aren't making it out of the 3rd inning. We got 27 games left, in a row, basically. That's kind of like what happened with the Twins. They had, going into the first series we had against them in Chicago, they had 9 straight days of baseball. We got to J.A. Happ, who was an absolute bum, baby. And we got to them early. We used up their bullpen. That's why they had, their backup catcher thrown against Yermin Mercedes. So this is a huge series to start it off. We got the Cardinals coming up as well. So hopefully you guys can do some damage, loosen them up a bit for us. And overall, it really, really, I can't say it enough, is a great weekend in Chicago baseball. Just a beautiful weekend. I think we're going to have a lot of fun.
I feel like the Sox are starting to like take the Bears fans' perspective. Like you lose one game and you think the season's over, especially like back last year. Everyone was like, the Bears are done, and the Bears were done for a minute. Don't get me wrong, but when they were 5-1 and they lost when they went to 5-2, everyone was like, oh my God, this they're done. And I'm like, okay. And then when I see Sox Twitter, who has been non-existent for like the past 12 years, freaking out about losing the game a couple nights ago. I'm just like, relax. And then Tony, you get on, you're like, relax. Tony's in a suit and tie telling you to relax. You definitely need to just sit down, have a beer, whatever you take to calm you down and have a good day. But like with that, great weekend in Chicago baseball. Are the Yankees and Sox here, Tony? Or are they in New
They are
York?
out in the Big Apple, out in New York. I'm just saying, overall, as a vibe, as a feeling, that'd be awesome if they were in 2 games. Yeah,
Oh,
that'd be awesome. But no.
that
Mm-hmm.
sucks. That sucks. That like two giant series. Lori Lightfoot's probably like, come on, let's move the game here. whatever she does in her office anyway. But anyway, about that, that's a whole nother topic we can go on if fans want to hear it. But I think it hurts that they're away, but it also will make the bars more exciting, I think, because everyone's like, oh, let's just go to a bar to watch the game. It's also rooftop season. So, everyone's going to be out there, drinking, whether it be at London House, spending, $50 on a Moscow Mule, who cares? The one thing that's super exciting is that on Monday, big Monday, 60% capacity at Wrigley and guaranteed rate. And I think the G spot's going to fill it. I'm telling you, like, you're telling me tickets are expensive. You're telling me that people are at the game. Tony doesn't care. He's a season ticket holder. So, Tony, what are you feeling? I'm feeling pumped. I'll go into the Cubs to kind of close things out in regards to 60%. But what does this do for the community, for the White Sox? Like the White Sox need a developer to go in there and be like, hey, I'm going to build 10 bars outside the stadium and, do whatever else you like. But, does this make you excited to see this team young? Do you think that they are going to do a few things with the stadium? And like, how is 60% actually going to fill up all the way?
So I do think that 60% is going to fill. Like I said, I was looking at tickets before. They're going for way too much money already. It does help to get the Cardinals bumped, but even against the Orioles, they were going for the other day. I looked, they were going for at least $30, which is huge for the White Sox, as we all know, those $7 tickets. But
Watch out now.
I finally get my season tickets, which is huge, and I think that's going to really help too, because for a while they had to cut off a lot of people because there was only the 25% capacity. But now all season ticket holders get seats. They might not be exactly what you asked for because they still got to space a little, but that'll at least fill up a lot of it. And then it's gonna be beautiful in Chicago, starting basically this weekend, and people are just excited to go. I really think, and against the Cardinals, like, I think we'll just have a bunch of Cubs fans going to go see the Sox play the Cardinals. So I do think that they're going to fill it up. I do think, the Orioles too, like it's Memorial Day weekend. I think people are going to go. I think overall, it's just going to be awesome. People are just ready. I think I told you against the Twins, the South Side is back. The South Side was chirping Max Kepler out in center field. They were just ready to go. I can't imagine with, what is that, almost 3 times the amount of people. So I'm excited.
I will say this is that it sounded like that was an open invitation to the Cubs Cardinals series, Tony, because if you need Cubs fans there, I'm your guy. And, I think Tony owes to take me to a game at this point. That's all I got to say. Tony's taking me to a game. I got to see these season tickets. I haven't been to the G spot in 2 years, and it's a beautiful ball club. Or ballpark, if you haven't been there, you got to give it a shot. Like, it's pretty awesome for what they've done there, especially the outfield. You can't beat it. But with the Cubs, I think Wrigley's been letting in more than 25%. Let's just get the cat out of the bag. I mean, when I was there on Wednesday night, best Wednesday night baseball game I've ever been to. The weather was beautiful. I was in a t-shirt, hat, and jeans, and I was still a little warm. That shows how nice it was out. And then the breeze was slightly coming off the lake. Baez hit a home run thanks to that breeze into left field. It was a super nice experience, but when Wrigley hits that 60%, man, watch out. It's going to be, Richter scale status. Yeah, very exciting time for baseball in the city of Chicago.
Couldn't agree more. Yeah, we're really in that. What's awesome too is right at the 60%, coming in, we're hitting that peak Cubs, like the wind blowing out, the warm wind blowing out, because it's kind of changing the seasons. The warm air is pushing out the cold air, and then you're going to get the 70-mile-an-hour winds blowing straight out. 15 to 13 games where everyone hits a home run. So it couldn't come at a better time.
Well, with that, we hope you guys are just as excited as we are for this upcoming weekend in baseball. Cubs, Cardinals, Sox, Yankees, big series for both ball clubs. And we will be back on Monday to discuss this past weekend. But with that, thank you, Tony, for joining me for this episode of Just Another Year Chicago. My name is Nick Rohde, joined alongside White Sox analyst, baseball analyst, Tony Cepeda. Have a great Friday, and we will see you guys next time.